How to set up an Oxen cryptocurrency full service node. To set up an Oxen full service node, you're going to need a total of 15,000 Oxen. As the node host, you can, however, contribute a minimum of 3,750 to initially set up the node, and then you can get other contributors to fill up the remaining 11,250. Because running an Oxen full service node costs money, you can also charge your fellow contributors a small fee to cover these costs. The fee limit can be set between 0 and 100%. I usually go for the 20% ballpark, depending on the price of Oxen. So to set up your Oxen full service node, you're going to need some Oxen. I bought my Oxen on Bittrex. If you also want to buy your Oxen on Bittrex, you can use my referral link found right here. I'll also put it in the video description below so you can easily click on it. As you can see, I've got around 3,800 Oxen. Therefore, I'll only be contributing partially to the full service node. I'll be getting other contributors to contribute the remaining 11,250 to get it up to 15,000. Now you can contribute the full 15,000 if you would like. If you don't want to use Bittrex, Oxen is also available on KuCoin. Again, here's my referral link. I'll put it in the video description below also, so you can easily click on it to sign up to KuCoin. Once you've got your Oxen, you'll need to withdraw it from the exchange. To do this, go to your balances, find your Oxen, and then click on withdraw. You'll need to put in your Oxen wallet address and the withdrawal amount. So I'm just going to open up my wallet here. I'm using the Oxen Electron wallet on PC. As you can see, I currently have an unlocked balance of less than 1 Oxen. The remaining is currently staked, but that's not usable. It's staked. So I'm just going to quickly get my wallet address, which is right here. So I'm just going to click on copy address. Going to open back up my browser, and I'm going to paste in my wallet's address. Once you've got your wallet's address in there, you'll need to specify an Oxen amount. I'm going to be withdrawing 3,751, which is a little over the 3,750, just to cover the withdrawal process. Once you've entered the amount of Oxen you want to withdraw, click on withdraw Oxen, and then I'm going to need to confirm via email confirmation. So I'm going to cut here, and I'm just going to click on the withdrawal link in my emails to get my Oxen withdrawn into my Electron wallet. Alright guys, I'm back, and I've just clicked on the withdrawal confirmation link. We should now receive our Oxen. Once Bittrex releases it into our wallet address, we can now close out of our exchange tabs. I'm now going to open up my wallet and wait to receive my Oxen. Alright, I'm back, and now I've got 7,500 Oxen, which means I've received my Oxen deposit from Bittrex. The next thing we need to do is set up a cloud server, also known as virtual private server, short for VPS. Oxen full service nodes have a specific requirement for the specifications of your VPS. I'm just going to go back to my browser now, and to check those specs, you'll need to go to the following URL address. This is the docs.oxen.io site for setting up a full service node. I'll put this link in the video description below so that you can easily click on it. This shows you a full step-by-step guide on how to set up an Oxen full service node. So I'm just going to scroll down now until I see the specifications required to run an Oxen node. So as you can see, you need an OS of Ubuntu or Debian. We're going to be using Ubuntu. Storage, you need around 40 gigs. RAM, you need 2 to 4. We're going to go with 4 because we don't want any crashes. Connectivity, we need at least 100 megs. And traffic, 1 terabyte per month. So the VPS provider that I'm going to be using for today's video is called DigitalOcean. Here's my referral link for DigitalOcean. This referral link will give you $200 in free DigitalOcean cloud credit to try out DigitalOcean servers free for 60 days. This referral link will be in the video description below. You'll need to sign up to DigitalOcean and confirm your account. Once you've done all of that and signed in, you'll be taken to the following dashboard. On this dashboard, we'll need to create a droplet. To do this, navigate to where it says create and click on it. Once you've done that, look for where it says droplet. A droplet is what DigitalOcean calls a cloud server or a VPS. Click on droplet. Here, you'll need to configure your droplet, starting off first by choosing a region. For this video, I'm going to be going with Singapore. You can pick from any of these regions listed. If you want to help the network more, it's important to go with a region that is not so common. Most servers are either in the USA or Germany, so keep that in mind. Again, I'm going with Singapore. Once you've chosen your region, continue to scroll down until you see where it says choose an image. So the image that we're going to be going with is called Ubuntu. Click on Ubuntu if it's not already pre-selected. For the version, click on this arrow, and the minimum OS listed by the Oxen full service node guide was 18.04 LTS. I'm going to be going with the 22.04 LTS. So I'm going to click on this version to select it. Now I'm going to continue to scroll down to where it says choose size. Droplet type. You have shared CPU or dedicated CPU. For this video, I'm going to be going with the basic plan, which is already pre-selected in the shared CPU section. I'm going to scroll down a bit more now until I see where it says CPU options. You have regular, premium Intel, or premium AMD. The regular is just a regular SSD, and the premium Intel and AMD is the NVMe SSD. Now it is more expensive to go with premium CPUs, so you can save a bit by just going with the regular, which is exactly exactly what I'm going to be doing. Now you have to choose your plan. Now there's lots of plans that you can choose from. You can click on show all plans to see them all, but the one that we need is one with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 40 gigabytes of disk space. For DigitalOcean, it's this plan right here, the $24 a month plan, which as you can see will give you 4 gigabytes of RAM, 2 CPU cores, 80 gigabyte SSD disk space, and 4 terabytes of transfer. So I'm going to click on this plan to select it. If you feel like this plan is a bit pricey, in the video description below and as a pinned comment, I'll put some cheaper VPSs, which you may find useful. For me, I find DigitalOcean more simple to set up, and I prefer simplicity, and I don't mind paying a bit extra to not have a headache in future. Now, continue to scroll down until you see where it says password. First of all, make sure password is selected, and then you'll need to create a root password for your droplet. Underneath you can see the password requirements, so make sure you meet them all when you are creating your root password. So now I'm just going to enter a password for my droplet. Once you've done that, continue to scroll down until you see where it says hostname. Here you'll need to give your droplet an identifying name you'll remember them by. So basically you're giving your droplet a name so you can easily find it in your DigitalOcean dashboard. So I'm going to delete what's already pre-typed here, and I'm going to replace it with Oxen-FSN, short for full service node, dash 3750. If you're creating multiple Oxen full service nodes, it's important to keep track of how many Oxen you have contributed to each node, whether you have contributed partially or the full 15,000 Oxen. Once you've chosen a name for your droplet, click on Create Droplet. DigitalOcean will then begin creating your droplet, which will host your Oxen full service node. I'll be back with you guys once the progress bar completes and our Oxen node is up and running. Alright, I'm back. Our droplet is now up and running, and you can see that by the green status symbol. To the right hand side of our droplet's name, you can see the IP address of our server, which will be the IP address of our full service node. To the right hand side of it, you'll see the word copy. Click on it to copy the IP address of your droplet. The next thing we need to do is connect to our droplet via an SSH client. The SSH client that I'm going to be using for today's video is a client called PuTTY. To get PuTTY, you'll need to navigate to putty.org, and then once you're here, click on Download PuTTY. Select the installer for your operating system. Now PuTTY is a Windows-based SSH client, so if you're not on Windows, you'll need to find an alternative SSH client. I already have PuTTY installed on my computer, therefore I'm not going to take you through the process of downloading and installing it. However, if you'd like a step-by-step tutorial on how to download and install PuTTY, I'll put a link in the video description below to one of my videos on how to download and install PuTTY. Once you've got PuTTY, you can minimize your browser now, and you can also minimize your wallet for the time being. You'll now be on your desktop. On your desktop, locate the PuTTY shortcut. If you don't have the PuTTY shortcut on your desktop, you can search for it here by typing PuTTY in the search box and then opening up the PuTTY program. For me, I'm just going to double click on the PuTTY shortcut to open up PuTTY. Once you've done that, you'll be in the basic options for your PuTTY session. In here, you should see hostname. Here you'll need to paste in the IP address or hostname of your DigitalOcean droplet. We have already copied it, so all we need to do is paste it in. For the port, you're going to be leaving it as 22. For the connection type, you're going to be leaving it as SSH, and then all that's left to do is click on open. You'll then be greeted with this PuTTY security alert, which is normal. You'll receive this always when you connect to a server for the very first time. So you can see it says the server's host key is not cached in the registry. You have no guarantee that the server is the computer you think it is. Of course, guys, we know this is our DigitalOcean droplet's IP address, so we're going to connect to it. You have the option to click on accept, connect once or cancel. I'm going to click on accept. Once you've done that, maximize your PuTTY terminal window. You're going to be logging in as root, so type the word root and then hit enter on your keyboard. And for your password, that's the root password that you created for your DigitalOcean droplet, so just type it in or copy your password and right click to paste. Once you've entered in your password, hit enter on your keyboard. You'll then be logged into your DigitalOcean server. Now we can begin the process of setting up our Oxen full service node. The very first command we're going to type in here is apt space update. This will update our DigitalOcean server. Once you've typed that in, hit enter on your keyboard and wait for the update process to complete. The next command we're going to type is the upgrade command, which is apt space upgrade. And then hit enter on your keyboard. Do you want to continue? Y for yes and N for no. Type Y and then hit enter on your keyboard and then wait for the upgrade process to complete. I forgot to mention that all these commands will be in the video description below for your convenience. So all you need to do is copy them and then right click to paste them in and then just hit enter on your keyboard. During the upgrade, you might be greeted with this window which says pending kernel upgrade. Just hit enter on your keyboard and then it asks you which services should be restarted. Just press the tab key on your keyboard. Pressing it once should be enough to get you to where it says OK. Once you've got OK highlighted, by using your tab key, just hit enter on your keyboard. The next commands will involve opening a good amount of ports. This allows your Oxen full service node to function. Type the following command, ufwc UFW space allow space 22020 slash TCP. We're going to be opening up port 22020. Once you've typed this command in, hit enter on your keyboard. So as you can see, it says rules updated, which means that our server has opened up port 22020 for TCP. Our next command will be similar, but a different port. So type UFW space allow space 22021 slash TCP again. Once you've typed that in, hit enter on your keyboard. Next is UFW space 22022 slash TCP and then hit enter on your keyboard. Alright guys, I made a mistake. I forgot to type the word allow after UFW. So I'll need to type the port command for 22022 once again. So I'm going to type UFW space allow space 22022 slash TCP. Once you've typed that in, hit enter on your keyboard. Great, so now we get the rules updated output from our server. The next command is UFW space allow space 22025 slash TCP once again, and then hit enter on your keyboard. And then finally, the last port we need to open is 1090, so UFW space allow space 1090 slash UDP this time. So this time we're going to be opening up the UDP connection on port 1090 instead of the usual TCP. So make sure you type this in correctly and then hit enter on your keyboard. Great, we've now opened up all the appropriate ports. Next, what we'll need to do is open up our browser and go to the full service node setup guide. And because this command is very long, I'm just going to copy it directly from here. So I'm just going to scroll down until I see where it says step 3. So here we go. Here's step 3, initial repository setup. And we're going to be copying this command right here, the curl command. So I'm just going to copy it from the word curl. So I'm going to highlight it all. Then I'm going to right click and click on copy. I didn't copy the sudo part. Once you've done that, open back up your PuTTY terminal window and right click to paste in the command. Once you've done that, hit enter on your keyboard. And now we'll need to grab another command from the Oxen Full Service Node guide. This command you just copied and pasted in will install the public key used to sign the Oxen Service Node packages. So the next command we're going to be copying is this command right here, the echo command. In the echo command, we're going to need to change one part of it, and that's the distro here. For this distro, we're going to need to replace it with one of these words, either bullseye if you're on Debian 11, Buster if you're on Debian 10, Jammy if you're on Ubuntu 22.04, Focal if you're on 20.04, and Bionic if you're on 18.04. Now we're on Ubuntu 22.04, so we're going to be replacing this word distro with the word jammy. So first of all, let's copy the echo command. So I've copied it now. I'm going to open up my PuTTY terminal window and I'm going to right click to paste. I'm now going to use my arrow keys to get to where it says distro. And I'm going to delete the word distro. In its place, I'm going to type the word jammy. Once you've typed in the word jammy, you're ready to go. Make sure you've left everything as it is and haven't altered the command at all. Let's check if it's the word jammy once again. So I'm just going to open back up my browser. Yep, we're on 22.04, so it's jammy. So I'm just going to open back up my PuTTY terminal window. Now you won't need to change anything. I'll just have this command available directly in the video description below, so you can just copy and paste it and then hit enter on your keyboard. Now type the following command, apt space update, and then hit enter on your keyboard. Now type apt space install space oxen service node. Once you've typed this in, hit enter on your keyboard. Then press Y on your keyboard and hit enter. You'll then be greeted with this window. Here you'll need to enter your service node publicly accessible IPv4 address. This is the IP address of your DigitalOcean droplet. So I'm just going to open back up my browser, go back to my DigitalOcean dashboard, and I'm going to copy the IP address of my DigitalOcean droplet, and then I'm just going to open back up my PuTTY terminal window here, and I'm going to right click to paste my IP address into this box. Once you've done that, press tab once on your keyboard to highlight OK, and then hit enter on your keyboard. I'll be back with you guys once the progress bar reaches 100%. Alright, I'm back. You should then be greeted with the pending kernel upgrade window. You can see OK is already highlighted, so all you need to do is press enter on your keyboard. Now once again, use the tab button on your keyboard to highlight the word OK, and then hit enter on your keyboard. Now I'll need to check the status of our Oxen node service, so type the following command, systemctl space status space oxen node dot service. Once you've typed this command in, hit enter on your keyboard. As you can see, our Oxen service node is currently active and running, which is great. It means we have done everything correctly so far. Next, we'll need to check another status, so type oxen with a D space status. and then hit enter on your keyboard. This command basically tells you how much of the Oxen blockchain we have synced onto our DigitalOcean server. As you can see, we're only at 1.8%, so this is going to take ages. However, there is a way to speed this up if you're impatient like myself. To do this, open up your browser and scroll down a bit until you see this Oxen command here. This command will sync the Oxen blockchain in a fraction of the time required. So I'm just going to highlight this command, leave in sudo, and then click on copy. I'm going to open up my PuTTY terminal window, and I'm going to right click to paste. Once you've done that, hit enter on your keyboard. In the terminal window, you'll have some feedback which says press enter to continue, control C to abort. So I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard to continue. Your server will then begin syncing the Oxen blockchain. You've got an estimated time left to completion of the sync. You've got the amount of data to sync, and you've got the current amount received. So you can see I've received about 550 megabytes now, and the time is about 21 minutes for the full sync. So I'm going to speed this up, and I'll be back with you guys once our Oxen blockchain has fully synced on our Oxen full service node. Alright, I'm back. The full Oxen blockchain should now be synced onto your cloud server. To check this, type the following command: oxend space status, and then hit enter on your keyboard. Previously, when we typed the oxend status command, we got 1.8% syncing. This time around, there is no percentage in syncing, and that is because we are fully synced, and we can even see our service node ID right here. The next command we need to type in is the command to prepare the registration of our service node. To do this, type the following: oxend space prepare underscore registration. Once you've typed in oxend space prepare underscore registration, hit enter on your keyboard. So as you can see, it says Oxen Service Node registration. You got your service node pub key right here. You got the staking requirement of 15,000 Oxen from up to 10 contributors, which is what you need. And underneath it says enter the Oxen address of the service node operator. This is your Oxen wallet address. So I'm going to open up my Oxen wallet here, and I'm going to copy my wallet address. I'm then going to open back up PuTTY. I'm going to right click to paste in my address. Once you've done that, hit enter on your keyboard. The node then says the operator must stake between 3,750 and 15,000 Oxen. How much Oxen does this operator want to stake? So you can either put in the minimum, a number in between, or the full amount. If you put in the full amount, you are hosting the node fully by yourself. If you put in just the minimum, then you're going to need 9 other contributors to meet the 15,000 requirement for the full Oxen service node. I'm going to be staking the minimum, so I'm going to type in here 3,750. Once you type this in, hit enter on your keyboard. It then says this service node requires an additional stake of 11,250 Oxen. To add a reserved contribution spot, enter the contributor's Oxen address now. Leave this blank to leave the remaining stake open to the public contributors. So if you have a friend that you want to stake on your node, you can enter their address in here, and only they can contribute on your Oxen full service node. If you want your node to be open to the public to stake and contribute their Oxen, just hit enter on your keyboard. Your node then says this service node has multiple contributors and thus requires an operator fee percentage. This percentage is removed from the block reward and assigned to the operator. Then the remaining reward is split among contributors, including the operator, proportionally to their contribution. Enter the operator fee as a percentage. So as you can see, you can charge 0% or 100% or anything in between for your contribution to hosting the node, as it's not free to do so. Because Oxen's price is pretty low at the moment, I'm going to be charging 20%. So if you want to charge 20%, also type 20.00, and this means you'll be charging 20%, then hit enter on your keyboard. Your node then says total reserved contributions 3,750. The total reserved amount 3,750 Oxen is less than the required full stake 15,000 Oxen. The remaining stake 11,250 Oxen will be open to contribution from 1 to 9 public contributors. The service node will not activate until the entire stake has been contributed. So keep that in mind, guys. You need the full 15,000 from contributors if you're not contributing the full amount yourself for the node to start. So then it asks you, is this acceptable? Y for yes, N for no, B for back, C for cancel. I'm going to type Y for yes and hit enter on your keyboard. It then gives you a little summary of everything, including your service node public key, which I'm actually going to highlight to copy it. Let's open up a blank Word document here and paste in our SN key for our node. We'll save this later, but for now it's just in there. So you can see I've contributed 3,750, and that's 25% of the contribution. There'll be 9 spots remaining. explaining where the rest of the people can contribute to your node. Is the staking information correct? So if it's not, you can go back or type no. If it is, just type Y for yes and then hit enter on your keyboard. Now we'll need to run this command in the operator's wallet. So this is our wallet and this is the command right here. So copy this entire command. So from the bottom here all the way to where it says register, highlight it all. Once you've highlighted it all, open up your Oxen wallet, then click on staking, then click on service nodes and click on registration. Here you'll need to enter the registration service node command produced by Damon that is registering to become a service node using the prepare_registration command. So all you need to do is paste in the register service node command into the service node command text box here. So all I'm going to do is right click and then click on paste. Once you've done that, click on register service node. If you have a wallet password on your wallet, you need to enter it in. Once you've done that, click on register. This will register our Oxen full service node. Once that's done, if you then go to staking, you should see your Oxen node pop up in the list of all Oxen nodes available for contribution. While that loads up, I'm just going to open back up my putty terminal window and I'm going to type a couple of more commands in that you might find useful. The first one is to print the service node pub key if you've forgotten it. So type the following command to do that: oxend space print _sn_key and then hit enter on your keyboard. Now as you can see, you'll get your service node public key, you'll get your ED25519 public key and your X25519 public key. The only one you're really interested in is the service node public key, which again you should copy and paste it into a document so that you don't forget it. The next one's to check the status of the contributions. So type the following: oxend space print _sn_status. Once you've typed this in, hit enter on your keyboard. So as you can see, your service node, the current status of it is awaiting contributions, which means we have not fully filled up the node yet. Now that you've fully set up your node, you're just awaiting contributions. You don't need the putty terminal window anymore, so you can close out of it. Now if I scroll down in the staking tab, we should see our node, and actually we don't see it yet, so I'm just going to hit the refresh button to see if it's actually there now. And as you can see, it's still not in the wallet section for service nodes available for contribution, and that's okay because it's just a fresh node. So what we actually can do is open up our browser and navigate to the following URL address: oxen.observer. This will take you to Oxen's Blockchain Explorer. Scroll down until you see where it says Service Nodes. Here you'll be able to see the service nodes awaiting contributions. As you can see, currently there is about 25. Not all the service nodes awaiting contribution are visible right now, but if I click on where it says plus 15 more, I'll be able to see all of them. And there we go, we can now see all 25 service nodes. Now what I've immediately noticed is that my service node isn't currently displayed in this list, and that is because most likely our node is very new. It will eventually be available in this list and in the Oxen wallet, you just gotta give it some time, as this sometimes happens when you first start up a new node. You can, however, copy your Oxen service node public key and paste it into the search box at the top right hand corner here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to open back up my Word document which stores my service node's public key. I'm going to highlight it, I'm going to right click on it, and then I'm going to click on copy to copy it. Once you've copied your Oxen service node public key, open back up your browser, left click in this text box here, right click and then click on paste to paste in your service node public key. All that's left to do now is to click on search. You'll now be able to see your service node details, metadata, service node status, and the current contributors. So if we look at the contributors right now, you can see the first contributor, of course, is myself. I've staked 3,750, and that is the wallet I used. And underneath, we can see another contributor who is somebody I don't know, but is a member of the public that wanted to contribute to my node. They have completely filled the remaining 11,250 Oxen to complete the full 15,000 stake. Now, of course, my operator fee is really low, and that's why it was filled up quite quickly. If your operator fee is maybe a bit high, it might take a lot longer for it to completely fill by the public. The staking requirement of 15,000 Oxen will eventually be filled. You just need to wait a bit longer for that to happen. Now that our Oxen service node has been fully funded, it will now start receiving Oxen from the fees we charge and the Oxen node itself to the wallet that we specified during the Oxen setup process. So in the staking tab, underneath accumulated rewards, here you'll be able to see the amount of Oxen you've earned. Alright guys, so that pretty much concludes the video on how to set up an Oxen cryptocurrency full service node. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, comment down below, and most importantly of all, subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you on the next video.
Why is it so hard to let you go?